off.
And we are off, and let's see how the first game starts. D4 for Nakamura. I thought he might be playing a big mix of E4 and D4 in this Blitz match, and now he's just played Bishop F4, kind of an early London opening.
Exactly.
So normally they start with Knight F3, right? Instead of playing, Knight C3 instead.
Well, after
totally unorthodox, guys. Yeah. That's not usual at all. We see an unusual setup on the board.
That's a little bit more like Kamsky.
We're kind of transposed to a perk where the bishop on F4 usually sits on the E3 square.
Now, usually the bishop on F4 not good in the perk because the E5 hits it, but sometimes white can play E5 himself and actually prove the bishop worthy.
Yeah.
Whereas here it looks like instead Nak is just going for the caveman checkmating ideas with bishop H6 and perhaps H4.
As well.
And notice the big lead already, 30 seconds on the clock for Nakamura.
Absolutely.
Taking a bigger early lead, and he's very instinctive with his play. Playing D5 and now the knight going to the center of the board. And you won't see Nakamura, I think, for more than 10 seconds on almost any given move.
Wow, very important to get ahead in the clock in Blitz chess. I mean, if you start with a lead, it really can take you through the entire game and give you a big edge. With 2-second increment, though, not quite as important as it would normally be. So bishop H6 on the board. This is really annoying in a game where you don't have a lot of time to puzzle out how to get rid of that annoying queen.
Well, just take it and play C6, bring your queen to A5, bring your bishop to D7, and castle long.
Okay, so you think both players are going to castle long in this position?
Yes, I do.
Right, so Nakamura instead has simply captured on C6, and now how do you think Black's going to capture?
BC, automatic.
BC, but now we're not castling queenside, right? We've changed our plan up a little bit.
Not necessarily. Queen A5, bishop A6, or queen B6 in this case, touching B2.
Although here, of course, it's going to be way more dangerous for white to castle queenside because
we'll find the B-file. Yeah.
We'll find that rook on B8, and we might start getting a little bit scared, right? Although even then, like moves like B3 can remain pretty solid for white.
And there's a challenge here for white, by the way, because his F pawn was hanging, so he couldn't castle at all. So he's now played the passive rook to B1, and it looks like he's going to have to castle kingside, not queenside.
Or just keep the king in the center. So rook to B8, but
I don't think you're going to see the king in the center, Jen. At some point. By the way, we should know the clocks. They're basically even now. They're now even. Nakamura has been the slower one. But look, on the left-hand side, it might seem that that's Black's clock. That's actually White's clock, is Nakamura on the left. And now he's brought his queen back to D2.
I think he was worried about a move like queen B4, threatening E4, the pin in the air. Sometimes even queen takes C3 could happen. So he felt like it was prudent to just get back there and defend.
Well, I think Black just stands much better now after castles or bishop A6, just going after the C4 square. I was also thinking about bringing the bishop to E6, but bishop A6 is a very sensible move.
I think bad sign for Nakamura that he's down on the clock right now, but he is somebody who can catch up really fast. But now he looks like he's had to compromise his position, and Black looks great here.
Yeah. Just like a very nice Sicilian, basically, right? Because in general, in the Sicilian, when your opponent takes a knight on C6 and you take back with the B pawn, it's all lovely because you have control over the D5 square and you have control over the B file.
And going after quick play, guys, rook B4, attacking the pawn on E4, Nakamura already having to defend the position.
Awkward move, F2, F3, not the type of move that Hikaru wanted. Castles, obviously, knight GE2 and maybe queen back to B6 just to delay white from castling, but this is an early initiative in game one for...
I'm surprised though, Yaz. Why is he taking so long on castles? His time is ticking. He's going to have a minute left. What is he looking for a forcing line for?
Good question, Maurice. No idea. I would have castled almost unblinkingly.
Beautiful.
Also, his rook on B4 is on a weird square. He's trying to prevent white from castling. But now the rook has been challenged, and looks like he has to go to D4.
But that might not be so bad. That's a pretty aggressive square. I mean,
might just get trapped. What does the rook do?
It might get trapped, but also it blocks the long diagonal. It blocks the diagonal to stop the king from castling after queen F2 or queen E3. Now white has no issues.
So the nice thing here is
what
rook
about
D1
rook takes
check.
E4?
Rook takes E4.
Rook takes E4.
Oops. He shouldn't have gone on the E4 square. He just blundered.
Aye, aye, aye.
Nakamura just hung his queen.
Correct.
He's gone.
So rook D1 check, knight takes D1, but rook E4 on the other hand. There's no way to capture and defend the queen on e3.
Wow, this is a disaster.
That's a game winner.
Well, he's managed to get a rook and a piece for it, but Black's also got massive activity here. Queen e3 check could be coming. Instead, Levon just getting his rook into the game.
With f7, f5, yeah.
Still can't castle.
This is over. This is disaster.
This is terrible.
So
that was just a horrible beginning. And with the increments, those 2 extra seconds, you're not coming back against a guy like Aronian. This is just death. He should have played queen f2 in that position instead of queen d4, and he chose queen e3, and now he's just toast. He has no activity anywhere.
No. That's why you have to look at all of the 4C moves, right? Not just rook d1, but the other one as well. And we're going to see an early lead for Levon Aronian, and now a lot of people are predicting Nakamura was a favorite, but let's see how Levon finishes this off. How's his technique? Because so many people, they play pretty well when Blitz in the opening, they get good positions, but then they can't finish their opponents off with such a short time.
Exactly.
So here, Levon...
Technique is very, very important.
So what do you think people do wrong? They sometimes oversimplify, don't you think? And so, like, look at how Levon here is just continuing to be aggressive even though he's winning, rather than like scrambling to trade a pair of knights or something like that.
No,
like,
this is
let's checkmate him, right?
Come on.
Yeah.
White has no good pieces. The 2 knights and rook don't coordinate at all. Queen is just a perfect piece. There's just almost no tricks in a position like this.
No.
That said, there are knights on the board. So
I know. I was gonna say, Maurice, no tricks with knights on the board.
Wow.
That can't be real.
Now he's trying to coordinate his forces just a little bit. That last move was not a bad one, but can he just play queen f5 check here in the worst case?
Yeah, queen f5 and
then d3
or
it's just a disaster.
Yeah.
I was looking at queen b2 actually.
Also
and just,
quite strong.
After check on e6, move the king. King g8, knight takes, queen takes a3, just pick off another pawn and just keep the material edge as well. And by the way, this also sets up a future c6, c5.
Yeah, c5 and then the pawn on b3 hangs.
Exactly.
So hanging on by a thread here, Hikaru, with this move rook c3, queen a1 check doesn't lead to anything. But
centralizing the queen.
And finally, that c5 move that you recommended.
And by the way,
earlier.
16 seconds, guys. 17 seconds, I beg your pardon, for
Aronian, yes.
For Aronian.
So he has eaten up a little bit of time. And look at how fast Nakamura is going. He's saved worse positions.
Oh, my goodness.
He has saved positions. This is a check, though.
This is important check. Oh, there goes another pawn.
And another pawn off the board.
But e7 is hanging with a check. And there's a knight c2 check in the position. Alert. Fork alert.
Yes, he might want to play knight e7 himself, but that fork is a problem. But it looks like he thinks he solved it. And he's really showing some speed and tenacity as Nakamura. He should have been dead already. But Aronian is down to 12 seconds.
Queen h2 with knight c2 in the air. All kind. Ooh.
Still defending, but his pieces are now being chased. Where does he put it? His knights are connected. But there's no easy mate here.
Well, he's going to go knight f3.
Well, knight f3 is on tap.
On tap, yeah.
Knight f3 is going to be brutal.
And
his mating formations on d2 doesn't seem like he has a single move to deal with that.
Maybe he's got to have to play knight c8, Maurice. Try for knight d6 check. That could take the
knight
deal.
f4.
Knight f4.
He's going to sack his piece.
Just to get some time.
Queen check, king up.
Knight f3. Oh, he didn't play it. Oh, Levon has definitely slipped.
Ooh.
He's feeling the pressure, and he's not playing accurately. I can't even keep up with him now. Only 7 seconds left.
Wow, this is a remarkable performance by Nakamura.
Nakamura, the fact that he's still in the game. Look at this. He might be winning the pawn on C4. Is that a pawn he's taking?
Oh, he could have taken the rook and taken the pawn.
An incredible performance by Nakamura, man. Don't give up, guys.
Look at this. How does he get out of the checks? How does he get out of these checks? It looks like a perpetual. Is that possible?
No, we're bringing the rook closer, but he's got to be careful, too.
Look at this. And Nakamura